Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Chasing Kilos with Ross and Han. How you doing,
Ross
Han?
and Han. Sorry.
So, just before we start recording, are you going to lead it, yeah? Are you going to lead it? Are you going to do it? I'm like, well, yes, of course, I always do. So, Ross and Han! You got a bit excited. You're about to do it again. You're going to do it again, aren't you?
I was going to, sorry.
Right. How are you feeling, Han?
So, it has been, what day was it? Are we Friday today?
It's
Yeah.
Friday.
It's Saturday, Sunday. Anyways, it is Friday, so it's been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days since Monday, Tuesday,
Oh,
2 days, Wednesday, 2, what day?
absolute knowledge from you there. Carry on.
So,
Is that
4 days.
a PR mile?
You're a prick.
Okay.
So it's been 4 days since the competition, and I feel like today is the first day that I've genuinely been able to move like a normal functioning human being, and also not been like really physically and mentally completely and utterly exhausted.
So you want to tell them what competition it was?
Yeah, so last weekend on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I participated in a elite CrossFit competition called Barcelona in Barcelona.
What's happening with your eyes for viewers? Why do you keep rolling your eyes every time you say, "Oh, Barcelona, Barcelona"?
I don't know, I didn't even realize I was doing that. Oh, well, Barcelona and Barcelona, which was my first ever CrossFit competition and my first ever elite, like qualifying for anything ever. And it was without a doubt one of the hardest things I have ever done in my whole entire life.
Yeah,
Which
looked it.
obviously is, I haven't done that many hard things, but I think this is
It's
really,
the first thing, I can tell you. It's the hardest.
but genuinely, it was really, really hard, like really hard.
So 7 events over 3 days.
Yeah,
They're all pretty varied, weren't they, events-wise? A lot of legs, a lot of back.
there was a lot of legs, there was a lot of back, and then they saved all of the shoulder movements for the last day. So
Yeah.
that was good stuff.
But you know what? No matter how big the competition is, no matter how big they want to be, no matter how good that it says that they are, you still stuff happens. Like you turn up on the first day, and for your time of your event, and everything's closed, and and you're standing outside the gates of the main venue, which is the only venue we were told about,
Yeah,
and there's security on the door who have no idea who they are or where they are or what CrossFit is, and you say, "So what's going on?" And they say, "Oh, it's not opening until
3
2 p.m."
or 2, whatever
3 o'clock, and by this point it's what 10 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah,
and we're there for your first event, and they're just like, yeah, it's not open, and you're like, oh, so it's
is
meant
it
to be
cancelled?
starting, is it cancelled? And they're like, yeah, it's postponed, yeah,
Yeah.
it's postponed.
So that
Uh,
was, if I was going to give one piece of advice for someone on their first day of like any competition, I would say get there so far in advance that you feel stupid. Because honestly, by the time you get there and figure something out or figure it out, you will be like normal people
yeah,
on time.
because no matter how stupid you feel, you are not as stupid as the people who are organising the event. So, so we turned up and basically had to message the event and message different people to find out that the first event was a 5 minute walk away from the main area where the whole competition is happening. Um, no one has talked about this separate area. There's not been any maps released or any sort of directions. They released a map of the venue about 600 times and not once mentioned that this one is like off site somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so luckily we found that. But no matter how big they think they are, these competitions, like you said, make sure you do your due diligence of turning up early and like, yeah, something wrong?
Do your due
Oh,
diligence.
God.
Not, I'll just check. No. Do your due diligence, my friends.
Do you know what it means? You just take the piss out of me.
Of course, I know what due diligence means.
Oh, God, then. Can you even say it?
Do your checks.
I know what my due diligence is, all right? I don't need you to tell me about due diligence, all right? I know what it is. Do your due diligence. turn up early or message the day before. If you don't know where something's happening, message them, like, and turn up early, and don't rely on their event organizers to actually tell you what's happening, because they didn't tell us, we didn't know, you were having a panic, I
Oh,
was having a panic. It's not what you need before your first competition.
yeah.
But we found it eventually. Um, I don't know if you want to talk about the events or if you just want to talk about the competition in general.
I don't know. I don't. I have made videos about the specific events, so if anybody wants to know about the specific events, they can go and watch that. But I'll just talk about the competition in general. But yeah, that was really stressful, and I felt really stupid for not knowing where it was.
Mm.
But they didn't make it clear at all, and I feel like it's just like, would you just please
Would you
just
just please?
that's the second Friends reference in this podcast. Would you just please just make it clear and easy so that for people who are competing, it just takes away other stress? Because you don't realize how stressed you are until you do
Oh,
a
yeah.
competition and until like the final day stops. Because it is so stressful, like really stressful.
Well, you had a massive come down, didn't you,
Oh,
after as well? So it's not just your body that sort of reacted; it was just like a burst of emotion and a massive come down
yeah.
mentally.
So I will say, so the first 2 days of the competition went unbelievably well for me.
Mm,
Like the best performance I've ever done, ever. Like I was so proud of myself and so happy. And so obviously I'd reached like this peak, like mental peak.
mm,
It's like physical and mental peak because I felt like I gave it everything mentally and physically. And then the third day came around. Already I was absolutely knackered, but then it was like I had to come face to face with stuff that I was really bad at. So it was
mm,
like a triple, quadruple slap in the face because it was just like tired and but have to be like mentally really strong, have to be like physically just like
mm,
really prepared, and it was really hard at the end of the weekend. I literally like ran off the stage, ran to Ross, and just like collapsed in his arms, like crying. But not because I was upset, or well, I was a bit upset,
mm.
but not because I was like really upset, but just because I was so tired. I didn't know what to do with myself. And every time words came out, tears came out. I was like, oh, please, you can't me. Like, really bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really bad, but that's just what you get when you give it 100%, I suppose.
Yeah,
For 3 days straight, it's quite intense, and they weren't really best. They weren't amazingly spread out events. There was some massive gaps where you had arguably too much time, and luckily we lived close enough to it that we could come home and you could chill and have a nap and have some food. But if you didn't, I mean, it would be a different story. If you had to hang around in the sun for 5 hours
insane.
until your next event without being able to rest properly or eat properly or anything like that, it would be awful.
Yeah, it would be. I think
Um,
if I were to talk about what I would do, like what I would consider to be like a non-negotiable for competitions now is one, like I would want to go to wherever this competition is and like have a very good understanding of like the location, the like requirements for parking, all that sort of stuff, so that
mm,
that's easy, so you don't have to worry about that. Two, I feel so grateful that I had you there because um, because I feel like when you, as an athlete, you obviously know yourself very well. But if you have a coach or someone who knows you as well as you know
mm,
yourself, it takes off so much of the stress when thinking about what should I do in these workouts? How should I break it down? What should I go for? When do I need to like rein it in? When do I need to like think about it more and not
mm,
rush and all that sort of stuff? Because that really helped me to just like keep my mind zen. And
mm,
three is I like I thought before going into the event I would like to know the people that I'm going up against, but I really enjoyed the fact that it was just like you don't know what everybody else is going to do. You don't know what they're going to be like, and so you have to just give it your everything.
mm.
Otherwise, somebody else might be better than you. Do you know what I understand? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you had a game plan for every event, right, and just stuck to it,
yeah,
which we talked about. But you could see, and I was surprised that other girls didn't have coaches or someone, because I was just telling you, because they, in my opinion, I mean, if we want to talk about warming up at a CrossFit competition, in my opinion, they all were doing way too much stuff. I think unless you're going to be dealing with a heavy bar or something on the competition floor, and you need
Yeah.
to warm up to like a certain percentage of that. By the time you finish warming up and then they put you in the holding pen, you're ice cold before you come out on the, I was going to say
Yeah.
dance floor, um, when you come out onto the competition floor. So I was surprised that they were all warming up so much, so many reps
Yeah.
of like wall balls or handstand walks or muscle
Hmm.
ups or flipping the pig. Whereas having me there, and it would probably be the same having you there, I was just like, just do as little as possible.
Yeah.
Just
Keep
make sure you're
calm.
comfortable with the equipment and do as little as possible.
Hmm. To explain, so when you go to the competition, if no one's been to a CrossFit competition before,
Mm,
so half an hour before your event starts, I don't know if this is just like what it's like in general, but
mm,
for every competition, for this competition I've been to, and then the one that you did in January this
yeah.
year, you have half an hour before your workout starts to go into a warm up area to warm up for that workout.
Mm,
Then from the warm up area, you go to, usually it's like 10, 15 minutes before the event, you go to like a briefing, which is where they like explain the WODs, explain the rules and all that.
mm,
So you have to go from the warm up to a briefing, which is like 10 minutes long or whatever. Then you have to wait another up to 10 minutes until you actually get onto the platform, the floor or
mm,
whatever. And then you have to wait another 5 minutes when you're on the platform for everybody to sort of like figure out what they're doing. So from the moment you stop warming up to the moment you start the workout, at the weekend, I think it was like 25 minutes
yeah.
minimum. And there were some workouts where it was a lot more than that.
Well, that's why I just told you just not to do very much, right? Because it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. It's just a waste of energy just to get cold again and then have to just do a really intense CrossFit workout
Yeah, yeah.
straight afterwards.
It's true. There were girls doing like, so on some of the workouts, it was just like, it was going to be like 100 wall balls with whatever. And they were doing like sets of 20 wall balls in the warm up area.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether we're missing out on something, but it just doesn't make sense to do that. I think if your like squat position is warm, I think you'll be all right once you get there.
Well, you don't have a choice. When you get there, you've got to do it. So you may as well do it with the least fatigue possible
Yeah.
and just do a few reps. And we've all done wall balls. Doesn't matter. You can all string together 100 wall balls unbroken if we want.
Mm.
I don't know why they were doing so many reps, but
This
that's
happens in weightlifting too, though. I remember when I've been to weightlifting competitions, you will see people do 1,000 reps before they come
mm,
out for their one attempt or
yeah.
whatever. And maybe I think in weightlifting, for some people that like that works for
It's a
them or
mental
whatever.
thing, isn't it?
It's a mental thing. So maybe in CrossFit it's the same thing. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I just think save your energy where you can because you're going to need it when you eventually go to actually do the WOD.
Might be one of the reasons why, well, no, it probably would have helped you in those first 2 days in those events just to be able to do what you did and beat the people that you did because you were smart about your warm up as well
Yeah,
and you didn't
probably.
destroy yourself. It's
Yeah,
a contributing factor, probably. Like
yeah.
with the pig flip thing, just a matter, which is, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, I mean, Google it, Jesus. It's like a big metal rectangle structure on the floor, like a sort of, as long as like a single bed sort of thing,
Yeah.
but not as wide. And it's 180 kilos and you have to flip it, end to end 16 times. And we just said, just get the hang of whatever technique that you're going to use
Mm.
and then just leave it.
Yeah.
But there were some of them were trying to do like 4 or 5 flips in a row with the maximum weight
Hmm.
because they're obviously panicking that they're going to get out there and they can't do it. Whereas for me and you, it was like you were trying this like one leg push thing. And then
Yeah.
I just said, why don't you just like sumo deadlift it with both legs, like, and pick it up like that. And then as soon as you did that, you were like, yeah,
Makes so much
I'm just going
sense.
to do that. And we're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, let's just leave it at that then.
Yeah.
And all the other girls were like loading all the weights up and like flipping it loads of
Mm.
times and whacking their belt on and all this sort of stuff. It's like not going to help you, is it, to do so much?
No, I don't think so. I think it will just tire you out. So if you were to, if anybody's listening to this and you're about to do a CrossFit competition, just like as long from the moment you feel like you're ready and you think, oh, I could
Mm.
probably stop now. Stop. Like stop doing more. Like more is not more. More is too much. And just listen to your body
As
is
the
what I would
saying
say.
goes, more is too much.
Yeah, that is how the saying goes. But yeah, I had the best time. I think if I were to like, if anybody wants, if anybody's like thinking about doing a competition or something, do it because it will just be an insane experience. Like whether you come last or first or whatever, I think guarantee you'll learn something about yourself.
Mm.
You'll know like what you need to do to move forward in your like sport, whatever.
Yeah.
And you'll meet some cool people. Like I did meet some really nice people at the weekend.
Yeah, I was going to talk about. I was going to bring that up and say about etiquette, like at these competitions, because it's so weird because you're obviously just random people, like 20 random girls, and you're all just shoved into this like warm up pen together, and you're going to be there all weekend together. So everyone knows everyone by their face,
Hmm.
but it's like, what do you like? What do you do? How do you even approach that? Do you go around? Because some people probably. It seemed like most of the people there were either shy or assholes.
Yeah. Well, apparently they all knew each other from other competitions, anyways.
Yeah,
Because obviously this is the first one that I've been to, so I knew no one.
yeah,
But they all knew each other from other competitions
yeah.
and like had seen each other or like spoke or whatever before. So I think once you're doing CrossFit for a while,
Mm.
you get to know like certain faces. But I genuinely thought some of them were just nasty.
Yeah, they were a bit bitchy and a bit like
Yeah.
just scowly and just ugh.
And it
And
doesn't
then
go
you
for
beat them, and
everyone.
you beat them all. So it's
Well,
like
apart
what?
from three of them.
No, but those girls weren't really.
Those go,
The
yeah,
girl that won was very nice, and the girl that came third was
also
nice.
nice.
I don't know about the girl who came second.
Didn't speak
She was
at
just a
all.
bit quiet, right?
Yeah,
Sort of doing her own thing. I didn't really notice her the whole time.
no.
She's fittest in Spain.
Yeah, Elena Caratalan something.
Yeah, it's really good when you're not sure of the name, just to fully go for it. Just guess anyway. Oh my god! The girl who came first, Andra Muistis. She was nice.
Yeah, she was really nice. Fittest in Estonia. It
Yeah.
was yeah. They were really nice. They were.
Mm. But all the
But
girls that you beat were all like a bit snooty and a bit nasty. But it's like I said to you, it's because they probably weren't expecting someone to come along and beat them. They obviously all think that they are of a certain level. That's why they
that's
did the
why
qualifiers and they show up.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So I suppose it's not nice to all of a sudden after like event one and everyone's nerves are going. I understand event one in the warm up room, everyone's like a bit, ooh.
Yeah, because you're trying to suss people out, aren't you? You're trying to
Yeah.
figure out what
And then when they
everyone's
see you
secrets.
get off and come second and get off the row machine first and come second and smoke them, they're probably thinking, oh crap.
Yeah.
So you've got to take that like with a bit. It's always been the same though in CrossFit or even in weightlifting. I used to hate it because you go in the warm up room and everyone's so hostile with
Yeah.
each other, and I just think, can we all just not because the added like stress.
It's nasty, isn't it? That's why
Yeah.
when it got to like I think it was the second day, I just went around and started fist bumping people.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, I know your face. Boom, fist bump, fist bump, fist bump. Because you've got to be the positive energy that you want to receive from other people. No, it's true. Like some of the girls didn't want to fist bump me. That's cool. You don't have to. But know that I am not going to be like I'm not going to lower myself to your snooty little weird
Yeah.
situation because I don't want to feel like that. Like I'm not there to beat you. I'm there
Yeah.
to just do what I want to do. Like I don't really care about what
Mm.
you're doing. Not in like a nasty way, but just like if you want to do whatever you're doing, completely fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be over here, just like doing my own thing.
Mm.
So
But I think that's the right thing to do. It's just no matter how miserable everyone is, just walk up and give them all a fist bump and a how are you and
yeah,
oh you smashed it yesterday or something or good job blah blah blah
yeah,
or just like a little joke like this is going to be hard or something like that this workout.
yeah. That's what I. So when we like go to the briefing area, everyone's like standing just before the workout. That's what I was trying to do, like make small talk, like little jokes and stuff, like oh, really nervous. Ooh. But no, because you know me, like I'll say something stupid, like oh, so nervous, I'm gonna poo myself.
I know.
And I think I did say something like I was like, oh, I'm so nervous, I'm gonna wee, and everyone was like, are you alright?
Yeah.
I think it's because obviously they don't know me.
Yeah. Otherwise, if they knew you, they'd be laughing their ears off
Yeah,
at
because
that
I
joke.
am so funny.
So bloody funny. But you trained properly today, so
Yeah, first day training properly, and I
you're
felt much better.
ready to work on your weaknesses.
100%. Yeah, I feel like, do you know what it was? So I've been thinking about this a lot. I am not upset with my performance because I feel like I genuinely did try my absolute best to do what I
Yes,
did.
agreed.
And whilst that wasn't good enough on some events, that's fine. But I now feel so determined to never, well, not never, because obviously, like, you're always going to have things that you're not very good at or whatever. But
Mhm.
and I never want to feel like that again. I want to at least go into the events and be like, right, this isn't my strength, but I can still do it. It's just going to be really hard.
Yeah.
And know that I've put in the work to at least know that I can push it a bit more than I did this time. Because this time I went and I was like, this is just going to be whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm feeling really, really excited to train. And we've already got another competition, anyways.
Yeah.
So
2025.
yeah, in January 2025, me, Ross, and a friend are
Oh
competing in
yeah.
a team event.
And they released the qualifying workouts.
Yeah, so we have to. I don't know when we're going to do those. Not right now, but we need to do those. And that would be so fun.
Yes.
Because that's like, because teams is so much better because where I'm not so good at something, someone else can pick it up, or
Yeah.
where, you know, that sort of stuff.
Except you're doing it with me, and we have similar weaknesses.
Yeah, but our weaknesses are the other guy's strengths,
Yeah.
and the other guy's weaknesses are our strengths.
Yeah. So when stuff comes up that me and you can't do, I hope he's ready to really put a shift.
To really pick up the slack.
Yeah, I hope he's ready to do 100 unbroken handstand push-ups. Because me and you can contribute about 5 at a time.
Oh god.
I hope he's really fresh on that day.
Oh, that's awful, isn't it? Yeah.
No, but I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then looking back on it, that you can say that you had fun.
I did have such a good time.
Yeah, it didn't feel very fun.
Whoa.
No, I'm just saying it was a really stressful thing. Emotions were really high and then really low. And when you're the coach, boyfriend, spectator, and you just have to wait until I watch you warm up and something not going right in the warm up, and then I just have to wait 20 minutes to see you come out and just see what happens. And because I feel so deeply what you feel on we have that sort of strange connection where we sort of feel it. And we know what the other person's going to be thinking and feeling the whole time. And I knew how you were going to be feeling standing at the side of the stage. So I was feeling that like at the same time with you, which in a way is quite nice.
Yeah, because you know exactly what I was going through.
But man, 3 days is a long time to just have your anxiety just right on the fucking edge. Like it's like you'd spend 3 days standing over like a frozen lake on like a really thin piece of ice. That's what it's like, right? Because you're sort of standing there and you just think, okay, I'm fine, everything's okay, but if something happens here or goes wrong, I'm going to fall through the ice and have a really terrible time. That
is actually the best way to describe.
Because you would just be standing there, wouldn't you, over the ice being like, and you wouldn't be able to relax. And then after 3 days, someone comes and just lifts you off of the ice and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Finally.
I mean, at the end, it didn't feel like someone had lifted me off the ice.
More like punched you in the face repeatedly off the ice.
Yeah. No, it just felt like I'd fallen through the ice.
And
I was just in the ice now. And that was it. I was just like, oh, relief, ice.
Oh, sorry for anyone's ears just then when I just went whack, whack, whack. What? Yeah, it didn't quite feel like you were being levitated up into the heavens, did it?
No. Even now, I'm still not levitating up into the heavens. I'm still so tired.
Well, you're supposed to take it easy this week.
This is what I don't understand, right?
I do understand this. But...
social media is a cruel demon.
It's a cruel mistress.
Yeah, it is a cruel mistress. And everyone who was in my category training are now back, like on Monday or Tuesday, we're like back to normal training again. I could barely walk on Monday and Tuesday.
Well, they clearly didn't try very hard, did they?
Well, it must be that, because honestly, if I were genuinely to have tried on Monday or Tuesday to train, it would have gone so terribly wrong. Wednesday already was just like pretty much a write-off.
But they've all had probably as well minimum 5 or 6 years in the game. They've all done 3-day-long competitions as individuals.
Yeah, but I feel like that doesn't change anything. Surely you just still need rest.
Come on. Well, of course that changes things. You have to get conditioned to doing this sort of stuff.
Yeah, but do you not still need rest, whether you're conditioned to it or not?
Yeah, you do. So that's what I'm saying. The things that they're doing is stupid. You might be able to go in the gym and be able to power clean 100 kilos. You don't know. Like, I know you feel tired and you feel like you can't, but you probably could still have done it today if you really had to. If I said to you, that's what you have to do on your program, you'd be like, well, I'm just going to have to do it then. But it's kind of like I felt awful today, and then I had 20 minutes of cardio to do at the end. 1 minute max cow ski, 1 minute recovery jog. And you can catch your breath back on the jog.
People who say you can catch your breath back on anything in CrossFit
Joey
is
said it
so
today.
annoying.
I said to him, we did an EMOM, double unders, shuttle runs, burpees, and a clean. One clean at heavyweight in the 4th minute. And I was like, oh, there's no real rest until... And as I'm saying this, he's like, yeah, the burpees, right? Rest on the burpees.
Who rests on burpees?
No one's resting on burpees.
It was 15 in a minute. That's not many.
I think people say it to try and be big men.
Yeah.
Be like, I rest on burpees.
Yeah.
I breathe during my burpees.
It's people who say I breathe during my double unders that really get under my skin.
I really tried that today. It's really not possible.
Yeah. I thought so too, because I was trying it. So I was like, oh, if I do these 50 double unders unbroken, I'll be so pleased with myself. And then when I actually managed to do it, I was like, ooh, wow, this time maybe try and like not be really out of breath at the end.
Yeah,
failed. Didn't work.
Yeah.
This just doesn't work. I don't know how.
I breathed. I brothed on my double unders today the same way that you breathe when your head's underwater. Like just completely nothing.
Yeah.
Just kept forgetting to breathe. And the first 25, 30 reps, I was like, this is good. And then you realise you have 50 more. And it's like,
how is it that we forget to breathe? Because sometimes I notice that mid-WOD, I'm like, I haven't breathed all
Brothen.
I haven't brothen.
Browthed.
All round. How is it that I have not brothed?
Why is it I doth not broth?
Yeah, how is it? Because it's such a natural thing that you just breathe, but then when you're really tired, you don't.
I don't know.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it is fascinating. I mean, this is completely unrelated, but one of our heroes, Tom Cruz, learned to...
Oh yeah, hold his
He's
breath.
a hero.
Yes.
He's a hero to me. I think he's awesome.
Do you think if he were British that he would be Sir Tom Cruise?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. He would have to be, right? Look at what he does.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean? He just makes films.
Yeah, I know, but they make a lot of money. He gives a lot of people jobs and keeps a lot of people employed because his films make so much money.
Yeah.
And they're big productions.
Okay.
But he learned to hold his breath for 6 minutes?
Yeah.
And then he said once he'd learned to do that, he would find himself sitting and not breathing because he'd learned to be so calm. So what we must have learned is to be so calm and so controlled whilst during CrossFit that we don't have to breathe. We just forget to breathe.
That is what I feel like.
Because that's what Tom Cruise does.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can be any way like Tom Cruise, I'm glad I'm connected to him in that way.
Connected to Tom Cruise.
Because I think he's a nutter in real life, but I love his films.
Yeah, they are great films.
Yeah, that was the competition, right?
Yeah.
Lots of highs and lows. Lots of stress, but you had fun.
Yeah, and I can't wait to do the next one. Whenever that is. Individual or team.
Teams in January.
Yeah. Individuals
sometime after that. Well, that's it, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Competition wrap up.
I really need a snack. I'm starving.
Is it snack time?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 6 minutes past 5 at a time of recording. Thanks for having us in your ears.
Yay!
Or in your eyes. Hannah's trying to make the
every time
the Zencaster thing do the thing that goes woo party time, and I think we've done this at the end of every podcast. It's really embarrassing, but I just want to give you a big thumbs up and say thank you for today, for listening. Please come back and listen again. We will be back next week with another amazing podcast. Hilarious podcast, if you will. Yeah. And don't remember, social media is a cruel mistress. Ciao, adios.